Good morning. Welcome to the screen. Morning. Low. So the title of the show is Witchcraft is Not Effective Birth Control. I think that says it all, so I'm not going to elaborate on that. It's a fact. It's not effective. It never has been effective. It never will be effective. Many women in Trump's America, they may need to resort to witchcraft in order to, control their reproductive health, because that's the only option that Trump and his cronies is going to leave for them to have. So, that's the direction America is heading. Let's hope that Canada does not follow suit. I'm a strong believer in the reproductive rights of women, and I believe that employers should provide women with the essential medicine they deserve and need in order to control their reproductive health, future well-being of their families, themselves. So it's very disconcerting to see what is occurring in America right now. Defunding Planned Parenthood and denying women birth control and abortions is just repulsively immoral. Just saying, that's how I feel. Repulsively immoral. So let's hope that the American public are able to resist. Bacon bagels, as I do most mornings. Thank you for watching the stream. If you have any questions or comments, I might catch it out of the corner of my eye. Cleaning my boards up. I have a batch in the water. I get my boards nice and wet, clean. Give them a nice watery sheen. That rhyme. Okay, that's my notes. What do you mean about your scope description? Well, I was saying earlier that in Trump's America, he's going to allow employers to deny women birth control based on religious belief. And I think that, women in America are going to have to resort to things like witchcraft in order for, and that's not going to work, so it's sadly to say. And they're going to defund Planned Parenthood. It's just, it's repugnant. I really feel bad for American women that they're going to be denied the medical services that they desire and need in order to be productive and happy citizens. And I'm just making it clear that, you know, witchcraft is not effective birth control. So. Sorry if I offended you, if you're a witch out there, but I'm just saying, you know, it's pretty clear that witchcraft is not going to work. But we have effective treatments. We have effective birth control, and those should be made available to women whenever they need it. So I'm just saying, it's a sad day. It's going to be a sad 3 or 3.5 years if Trump gets everything he wants. You know, that's how I feel. So, my message to America, my brothers and sisters in America, hold in there, resist, do what you can, do what you are able to do. Seriously, America's going medieval. It's going to be it's going to join the ranks of other medieval civilizations that have not emerged into the 21st century. There's quite the regression. In a few years, Saudi Arabia is going to be more progressive than the United States of America. And that is an astonishing thing to think of. So I wasn't able to read all that. America. America the Great. Oh no. Oh no. That girl smiled at me. She walked by the window and smiled at me. That's very nice of her. Hamlin Towns in Brunswick, that famous Hanover city. The River Wester, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. Pleasant a spot you never spied, but when begins my duty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from the vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats and bit the babies in the cradles and ate the cheeses from the vats and licked the soup from the cooks on ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests in the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharp laughs. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mares are naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking, to think we buy gowns lined with ermine for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese you find in the furry civic robe ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, find the remedy where you're lacking, or sure as fate will send you packing." At this the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a gilder eyed by urban gown sell, I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch its soul, but all in vain. Oh, a trap, a trap, a trap." Just as he said this, what should hap at the chamber door but a gentle tap? "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little through wondrous fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. "Yes, please come eat a bagel. They are delicious. My favorite is the almost gluten-free bagel. You won't miss the gluten, because it's a delicious bagel. Even without the gluten, who says you need gluten, right? Huh? Hey everybody, who is your favorite Muppet? My favorite Muppet is Swedish Chef. Bundish bunda bunda. Bork bork borka. Bork bork bork. Oh, I wish I could just throw things around like Swedish Chef. I love Swedish Chef. Oh yes, yes, the old men. I think I still like Swedish Chef better though. That character is a stroke of genius in my mind. I don't know who came up with that. Is that, I don't know, Jim Henson. What a brilliant human being that man was. Oh, and I've heard the news that Netflix is producing The Dark Crystal. I am so excited about that. Thrilled and overjoyed. Bunda bunda bunda. Borka 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 borka. Bundespega bunda. I don't do a very good impersonation of Swedish Chef. unfortunately.
Moonga, morka, morka, morka. Moonga, big moonga. Morka, morka, morka.
Is it puppet arms?
Moonga, moonga, moonga. Morka, 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 morka.
Puppet arms. Where was I? I'll start from the start. Hamlin Towns in Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you never spy. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies from the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, and ate the food from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats, made nests with the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their squeaking, different sharp laugh. At last the people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our American naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking to think we buy gowns lined with vermin for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to dress up our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find a parasitic rogue's ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, to find the remedy we are lacking, or sure as fate will send you packing." At this American corporation quaked with mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council, at length the mayor broke silence, for a gilder eyed my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one grappling rain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for the trap. Just as he said this, one should have at the chamber door, but a gentle tap. "What's us?" cried the mayor. "What's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little through wondrous fact. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long open oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself is tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, where tuft of hair on cheek nor beard on chin, while lips where smile went out and in. There was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced towards the council table, "And please, your honor," said he, "I am able, by means of secret charm, to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper. Hello!" And here they noticed round his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe, to match with his coat of self-same check, and at scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low and dangled over his vesture so old-spangled. "Yes," said he, "Pied Piper as I am, in tart party I fled the camp. Last June from his huge swarms of gnats, I eased in Asia the Nizam of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders?" 50,000 was the exclamation of an astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, as if you heard an army mutter. A muttering grew to a grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, mean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, grave old potters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, where an all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, torn on the cross and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Ratland home his commentary, which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, I heard a sound as a scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous bright into the cider presses of grape, and moving away of pickle tub doors, and leaving a jar of conserve cupboards, and a drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and a breaking hoops of butter casks, and it seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than by harp or by psaltery, breathed, called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world has grown to a vast rice-saltery. So munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on. All right, staved like a great sun shone. Gracious, scarce an inch before me, just as me thought it said, come for me. I found the Weser rolling over me." You should have heard the Hamlin people ring the bells till they rock the people. "Go," cried the mayor, "get long poles, poke out the nests and block up the holes. Consult with carpenters and builders, and leave in our town not even a trace of the rat." When suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace, "The first, if you please, my 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders! The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too. For council dinners made rare havoc with Claret, Moussel, Vin de Gras Pop, and half the money would replenish their cellar's biggest butter furnish. To pay this sum to a wondering fellow, gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin sink. Once the had come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, and a matter of money to put in your coat. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, was a joke. Besides, our losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come, take 50. The piper's face fell, and he cried, "No trifling, I can't wait," he sighed. "I promise a visit by dinner time, Baghdad, and accept the crime of the head cook's pottage. All he's rich in, for having left in the Calip's kitchen, of a nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I prove no bargain driver. With you don't think I'll fake a stiver. And folks who put me in a passion may find me pipe after another fashion." "How," cried the mayor, "do you think I brook being worse treated than a cook? Insulted by a rival with idle pipe and vesture piebald. Threaten us, fellow, do your worst. Blow your pipe there till you burst." Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe of smooth straight cane. And ere he blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as dead musician cunning never gave me in raptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of merry crowds justling, a pitching and hustling, small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering, like foals in a farmyard when barley is scattering. Out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flaxen curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping around merrily after. The wonderful music was shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb, and the council stood as if they were chained to the blocky foot, unable to move a step or cry to the children merrily skipping by, and only follow with an eye that joyous crowd at the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council's bosoms beat as the piper turned from the high street to where the western waters brighten the way of their sons and daughters. However, he turned from south to west, and to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed. Great was the joy in every breast. He never could cross the mighty top. He's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced, and the children followed. When all were in to the very last, the door of the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No, one was lame, and could not dance the whole of the way. And in after years, if you would blame his sadness, he was used to say, "There's dull in our town since my playmates left. I can't forget that I'm bereft of all the pleasant sights to see, which the piper also promised me." For he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town just at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers put forth fairer hue, and everything was strange to me. The sparrow was bright as the peacock here, and
and their dogs outran our fellow deer, and honeybees lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured, my lame folk would speedily cured. The music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go down limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas for Hamlin, there came into many a burgher's fate a text which says that heaven's gate hopes to the rich at as easy rate as the needle's eye takes cameling. The mayor sent east, west, north, and south to offer the piper by word of mouth, wherever it was men's lot to find him, silver and gold to his heart's content. If only he'd return the way he went, leaving children behind him. But when they saw it was lost endeavor, and piper and dancer were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never to think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here on the 22nd of July, 1376, in the better memory to fix the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Pied Piper Street, where anyone playing piper favor was sure for his future dues of labor, nor suffered they hostelry or tavern to shock with words the street so solemn. And opposite the place of the cavern, they wrote the story on a column, and on a great church window painted, saying to make the world acquainted how their children were stolen away. And there it stands this very day. And I must not omit to say, that in Transylvania there's a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress of which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison into which they were trepanned a long time ago in a mighty band out of Hamlin towns in Brunswick land, but how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers of scores out with old men, especially pipers. And if they pipe us free from rats or from mice, if we promise them aught, let us keep our promise. Pied Piper of Hamelin by Robert Browning. Thank you. I think that's how you bow on stage. I've never bowed on a stage before. I'm making bagels. Vancouver style bagels. I'm making bagels. Montreal bagels, Vancouver style. I don't understand that language, man. Well, I guess you don't talk to me though. I never had a bagel. You never had a bagel. They're delicious. Bagels. Oh, Canada. Not easy to come by. Well, where do you live, my friend? Australia? Australia doesn't have bagels? What? Everywhere here, like, even Starbucks in Canada sells bagels. And Tim Hortons sells bagels here. I mean, like, everywhere you go, there's a place that sells bagels in Canada. I guess we like our bagels. Maybe one day we'll open a store in Australia and you can have a Montreal bagel, Vancouver style. A Vancouver style bagel. Haha, maybe, yes, we can. There's a bagel place in Seattle that is opening a bagel store in Japan, in Tokyo. They're savory. You can get sort of like, we make a cinnamon apple bagel that's a little bit sweeter than the other ones, but they're you know, sweet-ish. Oh, there's a whole bunch of, there's an Arabic conversation going on in my feed. Well, that's poppy seed. Poppy seed. I think we get our poppy seeds from Australia, you know? Nice, yeah, come here. Come to Vancouver. AKA, also known as, I like to call it New Gomorrah. Vancouver is New Gomorrah. Let's hope that God does not destroy this one. It'd be a shame if he did. Vancouver's a nice, beautiful city. Wonderful people in it. Wouldn't want to see anything happen to it. See?
New Gamora. Are there any Canadians watching right now? Are you excited for Canada Day? I'm gonna go watch some concerts. Here are these are the finished baked bagels. On Canada Day, I'm hoping to catch the Sam Roberts band. They're playing at Canada Place here in Vancouver. I love Sam Roberts band. Their new album, Terra Forma, is this fantastic album. So I'm hopeful that I can catch that show. I am witnessing a very common Vancouver scene. Across the street there's two guys smoking a joint. It's a very common, occurrence here in Vancouver. See somebody smoking a joint or a pipe. Are there any Vancouverites watching right now? I'd be interested in knowing what you are doing on Canada Day. let me know in the comments. I'm working Canada Day morning, but if I had the day off, I would go to Victoria, because that would be a place to be, I think. Good day. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Tell me what you are doing on Canada Day, Canadians. I want to know. I can't hit those high notes very well. Maybe I'm whistling in the wrong key. I don't know. I do not have perfect pitch. I have relative pitch. That's all I got. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, asked us to watch the working of his lie on mine, and while scarce able to afford suppression of the glee, the purse then scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby.
What else should he be set for with his staff? What save to waylay with his lies and snare all the travelers who might find him posted there? And ask the road, I guessed what skull-like laugh would break, where crutch can write my epitaph for pastime in the dusty thoroughfare. If at his counsel I should turn aside into ominous track which all agree hides the dark tower, yet acquiescingly I did turn as appointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end descried, so much as gladness some end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hopes dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring. I hardly tried now to rebuke the spring, my heart made finding failure in its scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes the farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, freely or outside, since all is over, he saith, and the blow fallen no grieving can amend. While some discuss if near other graves be room enough for this, and whether day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with caribou banners, scarfs, and staves, and still the man hears all and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I had for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so oft being writ, so many times among the banished wit, that just failed the knights who to dark towers search and rest their steps, that just to fail in vain seemed best, and all doubt was now should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, that hateful cripple, out of his highway into the path he pointed, all the day had been a dreary one at best, dim with settling into its close. It shot one grim red leer to see the plain intentions astray. Mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged to the plain after a pace or two, that pausing to throw backward a last view, over the safe road 'twas gone, gray plain all round, nothing but plain to the horizon's bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such starved, ignoble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expect a cedar grove, but chortle and spurs according to their law might propagate their kind with none to awe. You'd think a burr had been a treasure trove. No penury inertness in mace, and some strange short words glance important. See or close your eyes to nature peevishly, and nothing skills. I can't help my case. 'Tis last judgment's fire must cure this place. Calcine its clods and set my prisoners free. Oh my God, the sun is blinding me right now. Oh my God. Well, folks, that is all. I'm gonna stop the broadcast because I am currently blinded by the sun. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you have an amazing morning, day, afternoon, evening, night, whatever it is for you.
Thank you for watching. Have an excellent day.